If these people are not because they can't move
All right. Hi, everyone. Again, this is Monicah Karaoke. You are on Echo FM on Facebook and radio. Today, I have the very funny Brenda Jones, and we shall be talking about justice for Vesh Nungari, as you all have heard about her rape and that led to her death. Let me welcome Miss Brenda, and then we can take it from there. Brenda, welcome to Echo FM.
Thank you for having me. So excited.
I apologize to all our viewers and listeners running late today. We had a few hiccups here and there, but we are here now and we are ready to go on with this show. So, Brenda, briefly introduce yourself. I know people know you. I posted actually in one of our forums here in diaspora, and people are asking, is this that Brenda that is so funny? And I was like, yeah. But can you just introduce yourself? It will come out better coming from you.
So my name is Brenda Jones. I am a comedian and anti-rape activist. And I'm based in Kenya, and I'm excited to be here to talk about rape in general, to talk about cases that have happened and how far we are with fighting for Vesh and other girls who are going through the same thing. Yeah.
Awesome. So, Brenda, just so we can get started, can you please tell us what compelled you to, to start seeking justice for rape victims?
I think this is something that is close to my heart because it has happened to me not once but 4 times. So I felt, since I have the platform, I have the numbers, I have people who can listen to me, I decided to actually speak out and be the person who represents those who've not been heard and to be the voice of the voiceless. So that for me is close to my heart because it has happened to me a few times. Yeah.
Okay. So, Velvin, her case is so heartbreaking.
Very.
Excuse me. How did you get involved?
Sorry, I can't hear you. I can't hear the question. Can you just come again?
Okay, I'm saying Velvin Nungari's case is very, very heartbreaking. And I know you're involved with so many cases, but what made you take particular interest on this one?
So let me just be clear, this is not the only case that we have had, because I run a foundation, Brenda Jones Foundation. We've had so many cases before, but I think this is one of the cases that went beyond us. It went beyond what we've ever faced as a foundation. And this was a very deep story, very heartbreaking. It went beyond anything we've ever had. We've had girls who've been raped and maybe hurt, but we've never had a girl who has been raped and killed. So this one was quite crazy. And then the internet went crazy on me. And I think we did good because we made the nation know that we are here and we are fighting for Vesh and for other victims. Yeah.
So, you as a, as a survivor, as someone that advocates, for victims and survivors, how does it make you feel when some people start victimizing the victim?
Yeah, we call it victim blaming. And it's actually very hurtful when we are out here on the internet fighting for justice because of someone has been raped or molested or even sexually harassed. And then people are out here calling me a feminist. I'm working with emotions and not maybe let's say the law. People tell me I'm not thinking straight. So when victim blaming comes in the picture, it's a very painful conversation because people tend to think that this is a woman fighting men, this is a feminist fighting men, it's doing all those things, yeah. But looking at it is stop blaming the victim. Can we look at both sides of the story? Don't start telling me she took herself. Don't start telling me that she accepted drinks, she accepted gifts, she took herself to the lodging. Think about what was the intention of this person? What were the intentions of this man? Buying her drinks, what was he expecting? So in everything, I think there are two sides of a story. So before we start blaming the victim, there are two sides of the story. Okay, the man did this with what intention? Why did she go? Because she felt she can trust this person. So it's actually a circle. This person made her feel like she can trust him. And then getting to the scene, this man changes on the girl. And that is when now it becomes another story. So yeah, victim blaming is a wrong thing. And that's what we've been trying to fight. Baka imekuwa gender violence, gender-based violence now streaming, but we're doing good. We're doing good so far, so good.
And I want to point out that most rape, it's actually done by someone you know. So it's very easy to actually trust that person because you already know that. But I really want to, Nungari, if you can tell us, okay, so Nungari was going to see her boyfriend, correct?
Yes. Someone she knew, someone she trusted, someone she had done business with before. This is someone she actually knew. This is not from the reports that we got. This is somebody she was a waitress. She had sold drink and food to before at the hotel she used to work at. So I won't talk much about it because the case is still in court, but this is somebody she actually knew. She had interacted with the person, had to even accept drinks. She knew who she was going to meet, someone she knew. Because even when she posted on Snapchat, his photo had an emoji of a heart, meaning this someone she actually had maybe feelings for, somebody she knew she could trust. So yeah.
And also too, looking at CCTV video, you can tell that this is someone that, she's had contact with, she was very comfortable with, so for her to even go to the room with him, and I don't think it was the first time, because the chemistry was there, so to say. So this is someone she was comfortable with. But I want to ask you, in her case, because you took it, to your social media, so you can, get people to be aware of it, things like that. Have you ever contacted the family, or have you ever talked to the family or the friends?
Yes. I'm always in contact with the friends, because the friends are the ones who reach out to me because they know this is what I do on social media. So her friends reached out to me, told me there's this case, our friend has been raped and killed. Please help us get justice for her. After some time, I went to the police station to follow up on the case. I was literally dismissed by the officer there. Then I called the mom. The mom was crying. She's even doing therapy now. So this is something that has gone beyond anything I would ever think about. She's a single mother. This was the only child she had. And she was asking me, Brenda, how do I live with waking up in the morning, leaving my house and seeing my only child buried in whatever the funeral place there. How do I live with that when I see my daughter's grave staring at me every morning? The only child I had, So this thing went beyond just rape. It killed the mother. She's doing therapy. Imagine how painful is that for a mom? And then I went to the police station and I'm dismissed. I'm told that ukitaka kujua hii kesi enda kotini, hakuna kesi hapa, And I asked, have you arrested the suspect? They say yes, he's here. I asked, where is he? Can I see him? I'm told where. Ngojea siku ya kotini. So these are people. I think people even fighting for justice, quote unquote, fighting for justice. People who don't even care. People who think rape is just sex. I think it's just sex, But this thing is beyond just sex. That mother is crying right now. That family is grieving. Until now, she wakes up, sees the daughter's grave outside the house. She was crying to me on the phone. She told me, please help me fight for this, because I can't. Hata amenyimwa medical records za mtoto hospitali. Why would you not give the medical records for their daughter? I mean, this is your daughter. Why would they do that to her? So this Vesh's story is very heartbreaking. It's still in court. I'm hoping that justice will finally be served for her, because it's painful. It's very painful. And it's unfortunate many stories never get to be heard. Maybe Vesh's story was heard, but many stories never get to be heard. And that's the most painful part.
So what I hear you saying, Brenda, is before you took this to social media, the alleged, the rapists, alleged, they had not been
Sorry, I can't
arrested.
hear you clearly, Monica.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, can you just repeat the question?
Okay, so I'm saying before you took this to social media, before you went to the police station, nothing had been done. No one had been arrested.
Nothing had been done. After I took it to social media, that's when I think now the police panicked, and that's when the suspect got arrested. Because from what I gathered, or from what me and my team gathered, because we went there with my team, I think that's what happened. They panicked from social media. Because they even told us that the guy we posted on social media is not the guy they have in custody. And I was like, wait, what? We proved there's Vesh's Snapchat proof. She posted this person. How can you tell me it's not the same person? So, come and see social media. I don't think Vesh's story will ever been heard.
So that's just one, of the cases that took you and social media to, uproar for the government to do something about that. There are so many other people that have been raped, because now what's going through my mind is this is a young girl that has come to the hospital with fractures. How do you explain those fractures? And how come she just went ahead and received medical attention without an explanation of how those fractures happened, and no one is held accountable?
I think I had go to. Can you just come again? Sorry, our internet.
It's okay. It's okay. It's network issues. What I'm saying is that this young girl was in the hospital, right? She had fractures, right? She had fractures, and she was receiving medical attention or treatment to these fractures. And so how do the doctors explain how the fractures happened? And if the doctors knew, obviously from their friends, that someone caused the fractures to happen, so then why is that not enough to arrest someone? Like, I'm getting angry.
I really wonder why that wasn't enough for them. Because, as I've told you, the mother was even denied the medical records for Velvin. So I don't know why they would not think that's enough evidence for someone to be arrested. Or why would she hurt her own cervix? Why would she hurt her own spine? If let's say it was her fault, why would she hurt herself like that? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, then if it was her fault, then she should have gotten arrested, but she wasn't arrested either. Okay, so
yeah, she wasn't.
Forget that. That's just the justice system in Kenya that is broken. But I want to ask you, how many cases have you dealt with that haven't been solved?
We've dealt with so many cases. The girl we rescued last year, she gave birth, she only 12. We tried to follow up on the suspect, he denied. Another problem with that specific case was the fact that the mom was supporting the rapist. The mom is the one who had given the daughter to the rapist because they needed pesa ya unga. So
what do you mean? What do you mean the mom was suspecting the rapist? I mean, support.
Supporting. So this man is a boyfriend to this woman. So this woman gets pregnant for the man, and they used to have sex for pesa ya unga. So this man, when the moment she gets pregnant, she cannot have sex with him anymore. So she gives the daughter, 12-year-old daughter, to this man so that they continue getting pesa ya unga, 50 shillings. So I remember when one of the therapists asked the girl, did he rape you? Did he force himself on you? She said no. Sisi tulielewana akanipatia 50 bob. How many times did this happen? Acha mimi sijui. 50 shillings. So when we tried to follow up with justice, even with Honorable Sabina Cheke and all those things, the mother said, achane na hii kesi. Hatujui nani alirape mtoto. Yet we knew exactly who had done this because their story was not adding up. So us joining the dots, we realized this woman had given the daughter to the boyfriend because hawana pesa ya unga. But luckily we rescued the girl. She's in our rescue center. They're growing. She gave birth to a baby girl. Her name is Brenda. I'm already a shosho. So the story went down the drain. We tried to fight, but since the mom said, Apana, what could we do? Nothing, because she's still protecting her boyfriend anyway. So there's nothing much we could do. And so many more cases that we've dealt with, but luckily our girls are going through therapy, they're healing and they're growing. And we have so many girls who have a testimony to give now. And that's the best thing. Once a woman has her mental as in health is stable, I think we have a good society, we have a strong society. That's what we are advocating for. Not feminism, just women being strong. Yeah.
So help me understand, Brenda. I'm trying to take a deep breath and I'm trying not to cry. So
yeah, I've cried enough time. I cried for so many nights. I cry every time I hear a story. So I understand if you would cry now.
I'm really, really trying to keep it together. But help me understand, when a 12-year-old is pregnant, regardless, a 12-year-old cannot consent to sex, period.
Yeah, she can.
So
but either way, even if she's 12, that's still defilement. That's still defilement.
Exactly.
She's below 18.
Exactly. So if a 12-year-old cannot consent to sex, why is there even a case of, the mom saying that it wasn't rape, like, who cares? Even if the 12-year-old took herself there, she's 12 and she cannot make that decision. That is rape, period.
She cannot.
So, okay, all right. All right, so tell us about other cases then that you have so that we can even cry some more. Brenda, I lost you. Dorothy, can you hear me?
Yes, I am. We're back now.
Okay, all right, okay. Now you're back.
Yeah.
So I'm saying I'm really trying to get myself together here, so God help me. All right, what do you know about I forget her name, but she was thrown out of a 12th floor? What do you know about that case?
That case wasn't really well reported, because what we got on social media is she had been trying to see this guy and for Namkata, and then finally she gave in. So when she went to the place the guy wanted to have sex with her, she refused. Then because they were drunk, he threw her off 12th floor. And that to me was a case of harassment. That's sexual harassment, because if I say no, I have said no, and a man should respect that. But this man did not respect that, and she was thrown from 12th floor all the way down. And now she's actually, I think she's crippled now. She can't walk. She's in a wheelchair, and that's a bit too sad, because why would you throw me off 12th floor just because I said no to your sexual needs? I mean, how does that concern me? Just because you have sexual needs and sexual desires, how does that concern me as a woman? And I think that is what men don't understand, because they feel that they're entitled to a woman's body just because I've bought you lunch, just because I've bought you some drinks, just because you've come to my house, then I'm entitled to your body. And that is, I think, the worst type of entitlement men have, and it's wrong. That's what we're advocating against. But you are not entitled to your body just because you bought me a plate of rice and minji, just because I came to your house, just because you bought me Taska. It doesn't make any sense. You don't have any right to be entitled to my body. Yeah.
So tell me, because you do come in contact with girls, young girls, so that you can help to minimize them being in a situation to where they get violated. Okay. In this day and age, we are to where we meet people on social media, and online dating, right? So if we meet online, then we have at some point to meet physically. you know?
Yeah.
And
There's a chance.
physically, we're probably going to meet in a public place, you know, and that is what this young girl did. She met him in a public place. This is someone she was talking to, you know, and then, you know, so when society then starts saying, you know, why did you take yourself there? Why did you take yourself there? I mean, this is maybe a relationship that we're trying to, you know, to make happen, you know, and so we had met online, now we are meeting physically, you know, and that happened. I don't blame her, you know, she was doing what she thought was right, you know, for her relationship or relationship to be. But going back to my question, what do you tell these girls so that they can protect themselves, you know, so that they don't look like, you know, they took themselves there and they didn't know who they were going to, so that they can make sure they know who they're going to meet, you know. I mean, like in America, I usually see that they tell you, you know, if it's your first meeting, make sure you meet in public, you know, make sure you don't meet at night, you know, things like that to protect yourself, because even here it happens, you know. So what do you tell these young girls?
I think the first thing is consent is verbal. It's not an assumption. So we have to have that conversation. And I think if I am grown up enough and this man is grown up enough, then let's have that conversation on the phone before we meet, prior to meeting. Let's have the conversation. Are we meeting in my house together? What do you expect from me as a woman? Then the man will go like me, I expect 1, 2, 3, I expect sex, I expect you to cook for me, I expect you to clean for me. Are you able to do that? I'm not able to do that. I feel like consent is verbal. Let's have that conversation before we even meet, whether it's in public or it's in private, whatever. Let's have that conversation prior. And I think secondly, let's, as girls, let's know who we are meeting. Let's get to know what kind of people we are meeting. Do we trust them enough? Am I going there just as a friend? Am I going there as bait, as prey for this man? Let's get to know, can I trust this person? Let's do background checks on these people that we are meeting. And I think we'll be living in a better society. I feel like people make fun of the Nairobi and Nairobi court, but let's have that conversation. There's no shame in asking for sex. Hi, Niaja, you're coming to my house tomorrow, Sam, and then expect sex. The chick will say, me, I'm not ready for sex. Can we meet in a hotel? So I'm not able to meet you. I'm able to meet you. That conversation should be there. That is what we call consent. It's not an assumption. It's not what the man is feeling. It's what I am saying as a woman. And I usually say, consent is not the arousal the man has. It's what the woman is saying. I don't want this. Even if we started having kissing and doing whatever, if in the middle of kissing, I say, maybe I've changed my mind, I don't want it. Let the man respect that. It's verbal. Let's talk about it. Don't just give in, then go and say, by then he forced himself on me. Because girls also do that, just to charge men with wrong accusations. Maybe it's an ex, you say, who you are turning to, then you go and lie about something like, he raped me. So let's not give in and say he forced himself on me. Let's have a conversation. I think communication is the key to all things, to all doors opening, all doors closing. If we don't have a conversation, then oops, new. If we have a conversation, then we have an agreement. Let's do this because we agreed to do it, not because he felt and I did not feel. Let's not assume things. Let's talk. Yeah, that's what I'll tell my girls.
Okay, good deal. Also too, I think to that, you know, I want to add that no means no. When a woman says no, it is no, you know, and if you violate that, then you have violated her and it is rape, you know. No means no. So I want to ask you, Brenda, so when these people come to you for help, you know, what do you do other than just putting it on social media? Like, to what extent do you go? Do you help them get a lawyer? Do you help them, like, how do you make sure that someone gets justice other than just social media?
Okay, so like I said, I run a foundation. It's called Brenda Jones Foundation. It's mainly for such cases. And in the foundation, we have therapy department, we have the law department, we have people who make posters for us, we have the social media department. It's a whole company, let me call it that, yeah? So the therapy team comes in immediately before we even go to posting on social media, the therapy team comes in. I screenshot the story, I ask for the contact, I put in the therapy team, the leader of the therapy team assigns a therapist to work with the girl, to work with the girls. In some cases, we've had to go to their homes and talk to their parents because maybe the girl is going through depression, she's been cutting her hand, she's been harming herself. There are times to even go to the extent of visiting the family. There are times to go to the extent of getting the girl from her own home to taking her to our rescue center. So before we even post on social media, we have a therapy team that's already at work. We have a law team that's already at work. So even some cases, we don't even post them on social media because a girl will say, I prefer my case being on the down low. Please don't post it. Just help me heal. You know, some girls say, it was my dad. Don't take my dad to jail. My brothers may not go to school.
I lost you, Brenda. Dorothy, you can still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so Brenda, I lost Brenda. I lost Brenda. I think the connection where they are is bad. I lost Brenda. Dorothy, you want to play a song? The location is a bit. Okay, there she's back. She's back. She's back.
Yes, I'm back. So yeah, I was saying.
Sorry, I think there is network issues probably in Nairobi.
There is.
Yeah, because I can hear, I have Dorothy also on Zoom, and I wanted to do that so that I can see if it's on my end or your end. So Dorothy is able to hear me the whole time. So I think it's, you know, from where you are, which is okay. These are just network issues. So I just wanted to know what your foundation does, so that if anyone wants to reach out to you, they can reach out to you. If there's anyone that probably would even want to sponsor you, so that they can do that. So if anyone wanted to reach out to you, Brenda, how can they get a hold of you?
They can come directly to my DM. It's Brenda Jones on all social media platforms. Brenda Jones Foundation has social media platforms. Facebook, it's Brenda Jones Foundation. Instagram, Brenda Jones Foundation. And of course, we have our WhatsApp. We have a direct line you can call us through, so you can send your funds to. I think can I give our number?
Okay, so Brenda, if you can just tell us, you know, I know you are seeking justice, you know, for the victims and like I said, for survivors, you know, who will never have a voice, you know, and their voice, you know, right now is, you know, people like you know, that choose to speak up for them. So what is your call to action? What would you want to see change? Because personally, I think it's, you know, and I know it's not necessarily my personal opinion, but this is my opinion. But I do think that our culture needs to change. You know, our African culture needs to change. You know, we need to change from where we think a woman is an object or a woman needs to be submitting, you know, and that is why even in marriages, you know, if a wife doesn't want to have sex today because she's sick, you know, then she's beaten, you know, and things like that. We have, until we can end that culture to where we actually respect women, you know, we will continue defiling women and, you know, violating women and things like that. That's just my own opinion.
Them,
and harassing them. And then, you know, even after we harass them, we still talk about it like it was her fault. You know, so I just want you to tell us, you know, in your quest for justice, what is your call to action? What is all of us? What is it that all of us need to do so that we can, you know, keep highlighting, you know, rape? I always say, you know, we need to sensitize our society to these things, you know, which I really, really adore what you're doing. And I give you kudos, you know, because you have taken on something that's really difficult to talk about, something that is usually swept under the rug, you know. So you tell us what you want to see happen.
Okay, so I think before I go to our leaders helping us, I think before our leaders come in, let's start with us. Let that, because most men have to keep texting me and telling me, not all men do this, not all men. So if you're not among the not all men, yeah, then be the man who fights for the woman next to you. Be the man who calls out someone when they do that to a woman, even if it's a woman you don't even know. It doesn't have to be your mom, it doesn't have to be your friend. So be the man who actually calls out another man. Be the person who protects that woman. As women, be willing to point out, call out that person who spanks you. Tell them, don't ever do that to me again. Don't you ever dare. Feel free to report a case you hear. Feel free to report a case that happens to you. And of course, I would really call on to our leaders, the female leaders in the Kenyan government, or even the male leaders in the government. Help us fight this monster, because even if we fail, I don't think we're doing much, because these people will never be arrested. If this man can walk into a police station after he's been reported that he raped and killed, and he can bribe himself out of murder, he can bribe himself out of rape, then what are we even doing as a Kenyan government? What are we even doing? So I think as much as we are fighting as a foundation, as a person, as a victim, as a warrior, as a survivor of rape, even if I'm fighting, if the government does not stand in for me, I don't think there's much I'm doing. So I feel like before even the government comes in, let's be the people who make the change. Let's be the one who calls out. If I think Wangari Maathai made it so clear that if you litter, I should call you out. Stop littering. She made it so clear for us. I think it's the same narrative you're trying to push. Stop raping us. Stop raping and killing our women. Stop harassing us sexually. Man, just stop. I think that's what I would say. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Brenda Jones, I want to thank you for taking your time and being available today to talk about this. I hope we can reach out to you again on another a subject or this, expound more on it. For those of you that are joining us or have been with us on Echo FM Radio and Facebook, I also appreciate you so very much. We wouldn't have a show without you. Until next Saturday, this is Monicah Karaoke. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Brenda Jones, thank you so much again.
Thank you.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Bye. Bye.